Hello, my friends. This is Carrie Konyha at holisticspsychic.com in Sedona, Arizona. Thank you so much for joining me here on my channel as we take a look at the energy shaping up around the new moon happening in the sign of Leo on August 16th, 2023. The new moon is actually happening at 2:38 a.m. Pacific time and 5:38 a.m. Eastern time on the 16th. The energy around this new moon is especially potent in regard to birthing new energies and setting new intentions in motion. Now, each new moon is a time of putting forward new energies, setting new intentions, but this one is extra potent because it is coinciding with a cycle that's happening with Venus, which I'm going to share in a moment here. So each new moon, the sun and the moon are aligned, they're conjunct. And this time, Venus is also in that conjunction, in that alignment, all in the sign of Leo. Venus is completing right now what has been an 8-year cycle that initiated in August of 2015. And as Venus is going to be going direct as we come into September, a new 8-year cycle is beginning. So one thing you might want to do is look to see what themes are showing up in your life right now that are connected to things that were birthed, energies, situations, connections with people, whatever, that were birthed in 2015. And notice how those things are taking on a new life right now. So as we're moving forward this month with this lunation, this new moon, it's all about coming into like a whole new focus. Now, the sun and the moon in Leo, let's look at that energy here. So Leo energy is bold, it's courageous, it likes to be expressing itself. It likes to be social. It can be a little bit gregarious type of energy. So we can all expect for those energies to be awakened within us, which feels like it may be exactly what we need to support us in launching into a whole new focus, a whole new cycle of experience that, again, on one level, we've got this Venetian cycle that's bringing us into a encouragement or support in looking at a longer term focus. So this new moon is not only about what energies do I want to intend or set into motion this month, but what am I intending for myself in regard to longer term ambitions, longer term goals. And this is the month to take some time to get extra clear on what those things are and start putting positive energy into those things, even if it's on the internal sort of brewing gestation level, which would make sense and be aligned with the energy of what's going on with Venus right now, because Venus is retrograde and Venus is actually sitting behind the sun right now. And Venus is connected to creativity, aesthetics, beauty, self-love, relationship themes. So in regard to these themes in our lives, we're all collectively in a little bit of a gestation period right now. It's not so much the time to leap into action around whatever awarenesses we've had regarding these themes. It's more of a time of inwardly nurturing those aspects that are being born or activated or blossoming within us. This new moon is very connected to healing. In regard to sacred feminine wisdom teachings of the indigenous Native American cultures, each new moon has a name. And this one is called She Who Heals. And so there's a theme weaving in to this new moon, which is connected to healing. Astrologically speaking, this is coming in with the fact that Venus right now is trining Chiron, which gives us ambition and courageousness to heal whatever woundedness may have revealed itself to us recently. We have courage and ambition to overcome a hump, shift into our healing. This is a time where we're excited about and ready to and ambitious in the direction of shifting into our healed selves. This is also about approaching themes that have to do with Venus, self-love, relationships, and things like that from the perspective of our healed self. It's a time where we feel an ambition to cultivate things that have to do with our spiritual growth, our spiritual awareness, which is connected to some things that are going on with Neptune right now, which I'm actually going to show you in a moment. But first, let me share this 13 Original Clan Mothers. This is a book that I use a lot as a resource for looking in deeply to the energetic themes of each lunation throughout the year. And this is in accordance to the sacred feminine wisdom teachings of the indigenous Native American cultures. I want to read just the paragraph here, just one key paragraph that really feels like it's aligned with the astrology that's going on right now. And this is for the new moon that happens in the month of August every year. And in this book, the name that this new moon cycle is given is called She Who Heals. And so She Who Heals is also the keeper of the growing cycles of the medicine wheel and all rites of passage. She teaches us the steps of gestation, birth, growth, death, and rebirth. She shows us how the great medicine wheel of life turns, when to fight for life, when to let go, when to allow our spirits to make the choice, and how to accept death as another step that leads to rebirth. Whether the death is the end of a relationship, the end of a job, or the end of a physical life, she shows us how to see beyond the illusion of finality and to celebrate each turn in the road as another step that leads to wholeness. So ask yourself, how is this showing up in your life? I can certainly see how it's showing up in my life on several levels. Ask yourself how this dynamic is showing up. And again, the astrology now, especially with Venus being behind the sun, which is creative potential in a gestation period right now, and Venus trining Chiron, which is giving us the courage and the ambition to heal whatever woundedness has been recently surfacing. We could say recently, meaning this year, over the past several months, right? Because the astrology that we've had has definitely been awakening us to, or making us aware of, where we still have had wounds hanging out in our shadow that we need to heal. And the energy now, again, is of healing, coming into our healed selves so that we can embrace life. We can embrace themes around relationships from that perspective of our healed self. And we can embrace whatever our ambitions are in shifting into whole new focuses in our life right now from the perspective of our healed self and our empowered self. And the Leo energy is very conducive or supportive of that as well. Because again, Leo wants to be shining its light, its energy out into the world. And we do that when we naturally do that when we're in our healed, whole, integrated, authentic self. The astrology now is certainly supporting that. Now, we do have a few things that are connected to the new moon. And then another big thing I want to talk about astrologically. The sun and the moon are squaring Uranus right now. Now, I'm interpreting this as being like tower card type of energy. The tower card in the tarot represents sudden flashes of inspiration. It's events, life events that happen suddenly, unexpectedly, out of the blue, that ultimately are supporting us in being liberated from anything that has become an energetic stagnation in our life or an energetic density, anything that is old, outworn, or no longer serves us. This square that's going on right now between the sun, the moon, and Uranus is giving us that boom, boost of liberation. So we can expect the unexpected. We don't know how it's going to show up. It's going to be different for all of us. It could be a sudden epiphany of awareness, an internal thing, a shift that you've had in your healing that enables you to embody a whole new energy suddenly. It can be circumstances in your life that reveal a truth to you suddenly that helps you to be more concrete about a pending choice that you've, been mulling over in your mind, or that gives you that final little push to have the courage and ambitiousness that you've been striving for so that you can come into a whole new focus in your life. It's intense energy, but it feels like ultimately it's helpful, supportive energy that enables us to fully embody our true healed selves. So we also have Jupiter in the mix of that. Jupiter is in square to the sun. Jupiter is the planet of good fortune. It's growth oriented, and squaring the sun brings us into a little bit of a checkpoint. I look at squares as checkpoint. So the sun in Leo, hey, I just want to be out and about and having fun. Where Jupiter in Taurus is like, okay, well, let's maybe have a little bit of awareness around how we're being in our exuberance, and maybe being a little bit mindful or thoughtful about channeling that energy conscientiously in ways that are going to support the growth of what our deeper ambitions are, rather than just being in our superficial playful selves, which is an aspect of Leo energy as well. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There's a time and place for everything. And sometimes we want to come up for air. We don't want to be so deep. We just want to have some light fun. So that component is definitely there, but Jupiter in the square in Taurus is saying, let's have a little bit of awareness about self-responsibility regarding our growth. Okay, especially because, and I'm going to hold this chart up that I'm looking at to show you all, we have a unique, what's called a kite formation going on around this new moon. And if I hold it up, you can see in blue here, these blue lines, it looks like the shape of a kite. This is the point, the focal point of the kite right here, which is Neptune. Okay, and then this is a grand trine that we've got going on in earth signs right now. And then Neptune is making a sextile to Uranus and Pluto. So let's talk about what this means, because this is the main thing going on astrologically this first week of the new moon. So the grand trine in earth signs, we have actually both Mercury and Mars in Virgo trining Pluto in Capricorn, and Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus. So that's a lot. That's a lot going on. I want to talk about that first. So the trines are a positive aspect that all these energies are harmoniously working together. I'm going to start with the conjunction between Mercury and Mars in Virgo. Mercury is the ruler of Virgo, so Mercury is empowered when it's in Virgo. It's a lot about awareness of details, concise communication, details of what we're thinking and how we're speaking, are concise, detail oriented, and Mars gives it a little bit more of a drive. On the low vibration aspect, what to be careful of is we want to think before we speak and not be too impulsive. On the low vibration level, with Mars in the mix, it can be a tendency to speak without thinking and ultimately perhaps saying things in haste or out of a trigger that you might regret later. So that's definitely something to be aware of. So as we're coming into the trine with Jupiter and Uranus here with both Mars and Mercury, again, Jupiter is growth. So our thinking is along the lines of our personal growth, growth in other categories of our life. You could look in your chart to see exactly how this is lining up, and that would give you more insight around specifically the type of growth that you're having insights and awarenesses on. And then Uranus being in that mix reminds us of reaching up for higher guidance. Anytime Uranus is making a beneficial aspect to other planets, it gives us the opportunity to access cosmic awareness around whatever the themes are that are coming up. So this is saying we want to not only be leaning into our own logical thinking processes, but we want to be open to allowing cosmic insights and awarenesses to channel through as well. And then Pluto is, of course, all about transformation. Pluto is a generator of metamorphosis, honestly. And with that energy coming into the mix with this grand trine, ultimately, we're all being inspired to have transformation, metamorphosis in ways that are serving our growth, our exuberance, our fulfillment. And then with the focal point being Neptune. This brings in a psychic intuitive component. Neptune is opposite of Mercury and Mars. So again, a little bit of a tug of war here between what my mind is saying and what my intuition is saying. But the thing about Neptune that I want to really speak about, because I feel like it's one of the main components here, on the challenge aspect of Neptune is the realm of delusions. Neptune governs all things having to do with dreams, psychic ability, intuition, and also delusions. So with the opposition happening between Neptune and the Mars-Mercury conjunction, I feel like we can more clearly see, understand, wrap our heads around anything that's been going on within us that we're realizing is delusional or not viable right now, which the beneficial use of that or application of that would then be to be able to let that go. Letting go of fantasies, wishes, wants, desires that are just not in the realm of what actually is in alignment for you. Letting go of those things so that you can more constructively channel your intentions, your energies, your ambitions in the direction of where there's naturally opportunity for real, viable growth for you. So that's collectively what we're all experiencing. Ultimately, it feels like the big picture is that we're all moving into more evolved ways of being. And as a part of that, we're becoming clear on where there has been elusive or delusional energies, shedding that, is supporting us in coming into that more evolved version of ourselves, especially with matters having to do with self-love, creative ambitions, and relationship themes because of the Venus emphasis that's going on. Remember that we are at an apex right now where Venus is completing an 8-year cycle and beginning a new 8-year cycle. So this is a time where we really want to consider what our longer term intentions are, our longer term goals and dreams. And this is a really empowering lunar cycle to really state those intentions consciously and begin holding space for the gestation of the energies connected around that. Take a look at your own birth chart to see what house the new moon is falling in, which is going to be the Leo sector of your chart. And that will give you a little bit more insight as to specifically how this energy is influencing you. Now, the one thing I want to say also is when we look at the elements, we have a prevalence of fire energy going on right now. So fire energy is exuberant. It shines, it radiates. So we all want to be shining and radiating. Fire is also transformative. So that's very connected. Even though Pluto is in an earth sign, Pluto again is a generator of the metamorphosis, and fire supports that as well. We have a pretty equal emphasis between earth and water, but we're lacking air. We have no air, nothing in air elements right now as far as the primary planetary positions. I'm not including asteroids or fixed stars or anything like that. There's no air. So even though Mercury, which is connected to the mind, is in a strong placement, it's in an earth sign. So we're thinking about the details of things that are connected to our daily responsibilities or things that we want to manifest in the physical realm. Without there being air element right now, we can all feel a little bit bogged down in our bodies. And it would be a good use of the energy maybe to get some more movement going on, just to get some life force energy flowing to counteract where we might feel heavy or weighted down. Meditations are going to be better to be active oriented meditations, movement oriented meditations as well. Because of the absence of air energy, we might feel antsy or unsettled if we're striving to do seated meditations right now. So I want to finish up with just selecting a few tarot cards here to get some extra little messages for us. I'm going to pick 3 cards. And typically when I do like a 3-card spread here, I'm looking at what's the energy, how to work with the energy, and then what the result of working with that energy will be. And so this is going to be for all of us collectively. And then while I'm shuffling the cards, let me remind you all that there's still a few weeks to cash in on the early registration discount for my upcoming intuitive development online program that starts in October. It's a 12-week apprenticeship program with me, which is a combination of pre-recorded video material interspersed with live calls every other week. If you're a person who feels like you're naturally intuitive, you're an empath, and you already know that you feel called to come into some type of being of service as some type of healing practitioner, holistic wellness practitioner, this course is a must for you. If you are a person who wants to somehow integrate your intuitive gifts into the work that you do, whether it's your job or just, the light worker work that you do, you've got to take this course. If you're a person who feels you're intuitive, but you don't know how to get a handle on it, you've got to take this course. I've been teaching this course for 30 years. Many of my students have gone on to become professional psychics and various types of healers and light workers. I'm super excited about this new format. And so I'm going to put the link to all of that in the description below for you to check out. And let's go ahead and see what 3 cards want to come up as an extra little message for us here. And then, of course, if you would like your own personal in-depth life path reading or psychic reading, reach out. The life path readings involve psychic insight plus tarot plus astrology, or we can just do a psychic reading. Okay, I feel like it just wants to be these 3 cards right here. So interesting. We have the 8 of Wands, and I'm working with my Light Seers Tarot again today. The 8 of Wands is new momentum. This is creativity, creative expression, creative inspiration, new momentum's coming in. Now, remember what I said about Venus being behind the sun, and so we're in more of a gestation period, but the gestation period that we're in regarding our creative ideas is for sure going to lead to new momentum and manifestation around those things, more than likely as we're coming into Venus going direct again, which happens on September 4th. And then we want to give it a few weeks to get a momentum going on. So by mid-September, we also have the 7 of Swords reversed coming up. This is about rethinking our strategies, which makes sense based on the astrology that's going on right now. When I'm seeing this about the rethinking your strategies, what I'm tuning into psychically is letting your strategies and however you're navigating yourself forward, make sure that those things are connected to what feels like your higher sense of purpose, and you're not just reacting on egoic levels. That feels like the key component. And then the 4 of Wands is coming up as well. This is Leo energy. The 4 of Wands is getting out and about, having fun, socializing, doing recreational activities, creative things, music, dance, celebration, all of that. That is the energy that this new moon is encouraging us all to embrace. First and foremost, let yourself have some summertime fun. This lunar cycle is the cycle to do this. So by the time we get to the next new moon, we're going to be at the tail end of summer. So this is your time to really tap into summer fun, exuberance, playfulness, being out, engaging, interacting with people. The energy is this, the 4 of Wands, being in your creative exuberance, getting out, all that Leo theme type of energy. How to work with the energy is really being aware of what the reasons behind your choices are, and letting those reasons be high vibration reasons that are supporting bigger picture, authentic growth and alignment with what brings meaning and purpose to you, and not just doing things that maybe are spiteful or out of ego, because that for sure will backfire on you if you do that. Fair warning. And then the result is going to be the new momentum creatively that comes in. So super excited for all of us. Let me know in the comments how it's showing up for you, or anything else that you might want to contribute to the conversation. All my love, guys. Blessings. Namaste. And I'll see you in the next video.